everybody, and this is an update here for the Infinite Terrain tiler from Team Blackheart. My name is Fouad Mefli, and I am the lead developer for the team. So I wanted to do a walkthrough from start to finish with the Infinite Terrain tiler. So this video might be a little longer than usual, but try to bear with me here. So the first thing we do is add a terrain, and that's what I've already done. And I've added some textures and stuff and some details already to it. So you go up to here and do Team BH and Export Terrain. So I've already got mine open, so I'm going to go ahead and click on it over here in the tab. So first thing I'm going to do is I want to put this where I want to save my terrain. So I'm going to set that base folder here, and I've got a nice little area that I've been collecting my terrains in. So I'll put them, in this folder. So the next thing we do is we'll go ahead and we'll add some tiles. All right. So we'll press front, maybe left. And let's do front again. So we kind of get like this little shape here. So what we're going to do is go ahead and draw on these terrains, I guess. We'll put some textures and stuff. So we'll put a little bit of something there. And let's see this one. Oh, set that there. And again here. And what we'll also do is we'll throw on, let's see, we'll make a quick prefab from just a cube, something simple. So we'll call this QB. And we'll make them into a prefab, so we'll just drop it down in here for right now. And so what we're going to do, so we'll get rid of QB from the scene, is I want to go ahead and now add QB onto maybe this terrain here, and we'll set them to be 500. If we set them to be 500 and 500, at least he'll be in the center of that particular terrain that he's on. I think we can actually see him down there, some little small dot. Yep. So we've got little QB here in the world. Also, let's go ahead and actually add some details to this mesh right here. I mean, this terrain. Looks like we're drawing. Are we drawing anything? Just gotta get closer. Alright, yeah, so there we go. Lots of grass. Really nice. Probably way more than anybody should ever have. And one little area right there, but... So the next thing to do is to go ahead and let's export our data, since we're ready. So we get a nice folder filled with these different things here. So basically we can go inside and see what's in them. So for each one we kind of have the alpha maps, which are basically these textures here. So it's going to tell it where to draw that, and it has one for each texture that you have on there. So and then terrain 1 will have a little bit more data because we actually added some details, which includes the layer map data there. So to show a new feature here that we've added into the tool, you can see, we'll go ahead and clear the list. And let's say I wanted to just work on the terrain 1 from earlier. I wanted to kind of edit that a little bit. So I'm just going to go ahead and click it. So this actually populates these buttons with terrains that were in your folder. So you get this old terrain here that you had. And if we make any changes, we can obviously go ahead and export that change out to the folders, and then we can keep that data. So you don't have to keep pulling in all the tiles every time that you make some kind of new terrain change or anything like that. If you wanted to add a game object or something to it. So I'm going to go ahead and clear that back out. So now to show you how to use the runtime component. So let's say if we're starting from a fresh project here, we're going to go to game object, create empty, and we'll call this terrain tiler. And we'll add in a component. In this case, we're adding the Infinite Terrain tiler to it. And we also want to add a spawn pool. In this case, I was using the Pathological Games spawn pool, but I've decided to go ahead and, because I cannot include that with our package, so I made a simple bare bones kind of spawn pool for our system. So you can specify which spawn pool the terrain tiler will use, so we'll go ahead and actually drag it on there. And to use the spawn pool is rather simple. Each prefab that you want to include to be able to spawn by your terrain system, you just take the prefab and drag it up here to this little thing, and it'll automatically do all of the background work to make it so that you could spawn these objects by just but just by prefab name, so it's rather easy. The next thing to do is to go ahead and fill in the terrain data directory. So ignore the stitch edges and the edge stitch distance. These are things that are going to be added in the future, but their functionality really isn't built in just yet. Spread will determine how many tiles away from the tile that the player is on. So 1 would result in a 3x3 tile set, and 2 would result in, I guess that's going to be 1, 2, yeah, so you get like a 5x5 tile set so on each load. So basically you're going to have in 25 tiles as opposed to 9 tiles, and you can go up to 3 but as for the spread, but I don't recommend going any higher, mainly because the system gets kind of swamped after that, and that's not really our tool, but it's more Unity and the game. So it depends on how much stuff you have on the texture. So if you're making something like a flying game or something like that, you can probably do your spread a little bit further, but as long as you kept the ground kind of sparse and low poly and all that with the buildings that you have on there. So the next thing to do is we're going to go ahead and drop in a first-person controller, which I'm not sure if I have one. Let's see. So we'll go ahead and actually import that real quick. Okay, so the second thing to do, once you've got some kind of controller in here for the player to kind of walk around and use. Let's see. And I actually do have the UFPS player, so I usually use that, but I'm going to go ahead and show you this with the free stuff, basically because I know everybody doesn't have all these goodies that we do. So what I'm going to do is just drop in this little guy into the world here, and I will bring him up just a little bit. Come on. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and tell the system that this is the player, so drag him onto our Infinite Terrain Tiler player game object transform, and we want the reference terrain that we're going to use to basically use the textures and detail meshes from in our other terrains to basically show the rest of the world. So once everything's ready, I'm going to go ahead and basically hide away the terrain that we currently have. So I'm going to go ahead and click that to hide it away. And next thing to do is just go ahead and make sure that you have your folder set correctly. In this case we do. Everything's good. Got our spawn pool. So we're going to go ahead and press play. I probably should have gotten rid of this other camera. But now as you can see over here in our hierarchy, we have all of our terrains loaded in. And if you even see here, you have QB, he's there. So we're looking around here, and you can kind of see, looking around, that looks pretty large, like the world's really, really huge. So we'll zoom out, and you can see here that if we were to just show you here as tiles, pretty much, here you go, you can see that's the one that we put in front of our original terrain. Our original terrain right here in the middle, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the other side of it. All those are fillers. So basically, if I don't create any filler terrains, it'll use just the center terrain as fillers for you, so that you don't have any holes in your world. So it's actually really easy. So from there, you just keep editing your terrains. You keep adding your game objects to the spawn pool. So make sure your spawn pool has the particular prefabs that you're going to use on your terrains in it, and I think that's about it. So it's gotten pretty easy. So the whole system is really nice, and we've been using it a lot already in our game, and really kind of hardened down what we have. So like I said before, you can see here, these are the terrains that we have in this folder, so you can see how they correspond to each other. And if I go in and let's say delete this one, it'll update over here. So now we only have 4. So basically you can load in your terrains and do a little bit of editing and export it again, and you can work on them individually if you like, or as a whole thing. It's up to you. And I've shown videos before already about the stitching, so there's nothing new in there. So I think that's it. Alright, so thanks for watching, and check back later for more updates from our Infinite Terrain Tiler tool. And if you have any suggestions for features or any questions about functionality, just go ahead and drop us a post on the forum there, and we'll try to get back to you as fast as we can. So thanks again.